take just a second and share this live stream on whatever social media platform you're watching from. By doing this, we can see that you really care and we'll move your questions and comments to the top. All right, let's get this party started. We look forward to seeing you and your questions and comments on this live episode of the Ask Big Van Show. What's happening, everybody out there in the whole entire world? We want to welcome you to this episode of the Ask Big Van Show. We're super excited that you're being a part of this with us, and we are looking forward to having a great evening. We've already had a bunch of really cool questions in the pre-show post. So if you have questions tonight during the show, you can preface those by putting in hashtag AskBigVan or the @ AskBigVan, and we'll try to get to those. If we can, we got a lot of questions in the pre-show post, so just for the future references, tune in on Tuesday afternoons to the Ask Big Van Facebook page, and you can see the post. So let me tell you. And then I was going to say put your questions in that post, and then we'll try to get to those first during the show. Also during the show, if you will share this live stream, then we will see that you're a sharer, and we'll actually bump your questions to the top because we really appreciate you guys helping us out, getting the show out there so that people in the whole big World Wide Web can see the show. With me, as always, is our amazing social media producer, Mizani Speaks. What's happening, Mizani?
Hey.
Pull your microphone up there. There you go. Get your mic up where we can hear you.
I'm joking. Okay. I was just trying to get it right. Okay. Hello.
Tonight, Sage is not with us, and Eli, as you know, last week, Eli left off, go on his journey through life, but he'll be back later this, I guess in November, something like that. He's coming back to town, so we'll see if he's going to rejoin us on the show. Got a couple openings, because Sage is probably going to be moving on as well. He's got a lot going on in his life, too. But we do got some openings, and we still got amazing Shay running cameras, and today she's running producer, full-on producer, and she is a butt kicker. She is amazing. So anyways, we really we can call her producer Shay for now, can't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyways, thanks a lot for joining in on the show. We look forward to getting your questions tonight. Mizani, how are we doing? We had a little technical difficulties starting off. That's why we had a couple of minutes of a late start. With Sage not being here, we've been kind of filling in the gaps there until we get another producer to cover for him. But what do you think, Mizani? Are we ready to kick it off with a first question?
Yeah, let's go ahead and rock and roll.
Okay.
So this one is going to come from Joshua DeLauder. Because he's always sharing with us, so I think we should
need to come up with a nickname with him. Although it's better than Gamble Bond.
That should be it. That's his nickname. That's cool. I like that
Mr. Bond.
Mr. Bond.
Remember that time? If you guys don't know this, go to our YouTube page and check out our clips. We put clips on the YouTube page from all these awesome questions over the different episodes. So if you find an episode or a question you remember was a really cool one or a topic we had a lot of fun discussing, we put those clips on our YouTube page. So go over to YouTube, check it out. But one of them, this guy Josh changed his name. It was quite funny. The question he asked was about mass shootings, but he had changed his name to Gamble Bond, and so it threw us off. So we were laughing at the beginning of that question, although it was a pretty sad topic. Anyways, what's this one? What we got here?
He wants to know who is the strongest Jedi and strongest Sith.
Oh, that's a really good question. It's a good topic to start with. The strongest Jedi is Luke Skywalker. Everybody in the world knows that. Come on, that's of course, you know. Luke,
you're too good.
I am your father.
He's got a song for him now. You know he's the best.
Yeah, and the Sith, I'm not as versed in the Sith. I know a lot of you Star Wars guys that are fans of the dark side study all these Siths and stuff. I'm not as versed. I would probably say the general, is it General Dooku? Is that, I believe that's, Josh, you can correct me if I'm wrong. That dude's a pretty bad guy. I mean, he's pretty awesome. So I'd probably say him unless I'm corrected. So I'm not as firm with my answer on the Sith, but I am firm about Skywalker. Let us know in the comments if you agree or if you disagree. Josh, let me know what you think is which one is you think is your picks for the strongest as well. So thanks for that question, Josh. Appreciate you being a longtime viewer of the show and always chiming in with some cool questions. You the man.
Yes. Okay, so our next question comes from pop that there. Kendall Estes. She wants to know how long you've been married.
Well, that's a good question. Let me tell you this quick story about it. All right. Well, when I first met my wife, when we were just teenagers, really, I fell in love with her, like head over heels, loved her, and she did me. I thought for a while, but then all of a sudden, this guy named Joseph comes around, and she's like swooned by him, like quit calling me, quit answering my calls, and like I didn't hear from her for like several days. And so I mean, like if you're talking all day long for several, for a couple of weeks, I guess we did, and it was serious. Like I was ready to marry her. Like I actually like asked her to marry me, and she was like, it wasn't like a formal. It was like, hey, would you be, do you think? It wasn't like I got down on my knee, but like I was serious, ready to marry her. And this guy named Joseph comes along, and I don't know where he came from. I forgot where he was from, but he comes along and starts swooning her, Tracy, and like she disappeared and wouldn't talk to me. Finally, I found him, and so I found her, and they were at a coffee shop, right? And so I go in, and I'm like, what's going on? And this guy was, I guess, anyway. So he and I got in a little tussle, and I didn't hit him or anything, but he tripped and fell backwards at the Starbucks and hit his head on the coffee table and like busted the side of his eye. It was a big ordeal, but he didn't press charges because he knew I didn't hit him. But then the next time I saw him was like the next day, a couple days later. This was a long time ago, like 27 years ago. The next time I saw him, he comes back, and he went over. I went over to Tracy's house, to her mom and dad's house, and then he was there, and he had medical cotton, like what I'm talking about, Mazzani. It's like they pack it in your eye, and then they have the tape. It was like that, and so, but this time, when I came in, I was like ready. I was going to really do some damage. Like I was really mad at him, because he was there again, and so I was like. I got kind of rough with him, and he just took off. Like, I don't even know where he went. And then, like, since he was gone a couple days later, Tracy, I guess she settled for me or whatever. Because, like, she was like like I was back on the menu all of a sudden, It's like she liked me again. And so I asked her to marry me, and we got married and all that stuff. But that period of time was quite a long time when Joseph was, in there. So... I guess what I'm saying is, if it hadn't been for Cotton Eye Joe, I'd have been married a long time ago. Where did he come from? Where did he go? I don't know, but where did he come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
So this was a joke the whole time? I'm sorry, guys, for that split right there, but I really am enthralled by this story I've never heard in my life, and it's a joke. I'm really sad, like, cause I was like, look at him being chivalrous. He meant business, and it was a joke.
I've been married a long time ago. All right, seriously, I've been married like what's this year? 2019. 25 years, 26 years, 25 years, 94, 25 years. I've been married 25 years. Is that right? Yeah. All these ladies in the studio are looking at me like, you better straighten it up, man.
Get it together.
Yeah. Anyways, old Cotton Eye Joe there set me back some, but I got it worked out.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Mazzani, before we get into any more serious questions, let's talk about this. We had, pull up that question from, are you going there? Did you already plan on doing that?
What are you talking about?
This White Claw. Remember the question from Jennifer?
It's not on here.
It's not on there?
It's not. I promise.
Check, it's from the pre-show post.
Right. I don't think I've got those questions yet because it's not on here.
I sent it.
Check the other page. You didn't get it for real?
I really didn't. Nope.
Did you already change, Shay? Did you already change it over to episode 13? Lasagna, maybe that you didn't. It's it right there, isn't it?
Where?
What's that?
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. All right, so this is. I saw this question in our pre-show post from a longtime watcher, a wonderful viewer and friend of mine, Jennifer Purdum. This is the question is, are you going to read the question?
Yeah, I am. I'm sorry. Let me get it together.
Hey, look how the picture's up, but we can still see both of us.
That's pretty cool. But Jennifer Purdum wants to know, have you fallen to the White Claw obsession? What's up with that nasty crap? I now baptize you in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy
so the
Spirit.
picture's sacrilegious, and I don't know if I appreciate that. Although she didn't make that picture, she shared it. But as far as the concept of this drink, we have not had this yet. And Jennifer, when you posted that, I asked everybody on the crew, and they were all like, "No, we've never tasted it." So we went out and got this to be able to give you an honest opinion about. Look at everybody's popping their tops. An honest opinion on what we think about this drink, because you said it's crap, and online, obviously, some people like it. So we're going to taste it right now on the show. Okay, Mazzani, you ready to? Oh, we got to do cheers.
Clink.
Clink. All right, let's try it out. Are you wearing it?
My shirt likes it.
Yeah, you wearing it.
It's tasty. It kind of tastes like when you accidentally lick your armpit.
Wait a minute.
What? You've never done that?
No. I've never licked my armpit.
It's an accident. Like when you put deodorant on and you're like...
Why is your tongue out when you put...
That's how I concentrate.
Like the Michael Jordan move, like he's in the air, he got his tongue out, so you
it's like I concentrate. Kind of just casts like an armpity deodorant.
No,
taste.
that's never happened to me, Ms. I cannot relate to licking my armpit accidentally. But I will tell you, is this got alcohol in it? Is that what this is? Is that why they call it a hard seltzer? Because it's got
Only
5%. So, well, it's kind of like a I mean, that's about as much as a beer has. I don't dislike this if you're going for something that's real light and a little bit sweet, a little bit fruity. Jennifer, you don't like this? Let us know in the comments if you like this or not, because I don't think it's that bad.
Well, she said that she sells these beers at concerts and people are obsessed.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Well, it's really light. It's like it really is like seltzer water with flavoring. It's pretty good. I could drink this if I were playing cornhole out in the backyard or whatever, and it's hot and whatnot. What's that looking for, son?
It's hot, so you're gonna need some deodorant.
Yeah. If you haven't licked off all your deodorant yet, you can try this.
It's an accident.
I never heard of anybody licking their armpit by accident. But anyhow, there we go.
No. Okay. You ready to go to the next
All right, let's get a good question in here.
Yes. Since you're talking about the Cotton Eye Joe. Actually,
Can you do the line dance?
Yeah, Jennifer Purdum wants to know.
I hate line dancing. I'm sorry. There's few things that I cannot stand, and line dancing is one of them.
Wait, pause. What kind? What kind of line dancing?
I'm going to have to say all of it. I think every single bit of it. I don't know if I've ever seen any line dancing where, like, in my soul didn't cringe because of how awfully cheesy and epically I hated it. It started off with hatred towards, like, country music line dancing, where they're, like, dipping in, all that stuff, and they, like, spin, and they're grabbing their, and they throw their cowboy boot up in the air, and they spin, and then they turn to the right, and they spin. Just, like, that started off, like, that's when I started disliking it. But then when I've seen, like, that, I didn't even know they had line dancing in other forms of music. But now I see it in other forms, and I hate it in all forms of music. So that's just me. I know a lot of people love line dancing. It's not my thing.
I'll line dance with you, Jennifer. I like line dancing, any kind of form. I even do country line dance. I'll sling that foot in the heartbeat, girl. Yes, Footloose all day.
Yeah.
All right, next question. This one comes from Sage Estes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, look at him posting and such.
Nice.
How sweet. What are you doing?
You're 13.
Nope.
Nope. What in the world?
It's giving me a hard time. Thank you. But that didn't work. But it's let me try it again. Send in. All right, there we go.
There we go.
So it's from Sage Estes. He wants to know, is minimalism something millennials should adopt, and why?
Is that a recent question? Or is that an old question?
It's a recent question.
Really? Because I thought I guess we had a question like that a while back about minimalism. Minimalism, like cannibalism. Minimalism. No,
For real.
is minimalism something millennials should adopt, and why? Minimalism is something that is advantageous, at least for a period of time, for everybody to adopt. It really gets you grounded, go back to the basics of not having to have so many things, not having to be so like, gimme, 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 I have to have more, never satisfied, that kind of thing. But it's probably a good habit. Like, I would think everybody at some point in their life should go through a phase where they're like fasting consumerism, or fasting. What's the word for like when you just have hoarding, not hoarding, but you know what I mean, consumption. It's probably a good thing for millennials because that's probably the age in their life where they're really establishing what they're going to do with the rest of their life and what directions they're going to go in. So yeah, I would say it's something good. I would imagine it's something good for millennials to adopt, at least for a period of time in their life.
I also agree, but I don't think it's just good for millennials. Like you said, I think it should be for everybody.
Yeah.
And minimalism, I don't know. I feel like everybody thinks it's under one branch, and it's kind of overwhelming when you first hear about it. But it's like specifically, it's like something that you have to adopt per person, and it has to be for you. Like it has to be something that you needed to get rid of. And I think it's really beneficial for everybody, even animals.
Animals? How are you going to be a minimalist as an animal?
I'm going to make my dog a minimalist. My uncle's dog needs to be a minimalist. He got so many outfits and clothes and,
really?
And dog beds and treats and bowls.
Do you think dogs even know that they're like got all that stuff? Like you think like if you took it away, they would even care? Like really? I mean, like seriously, like if you went in and a dog that had all those things and all you people that have all kinds of dogs and you know what I'm talking about, Ms. Honey, it's... You people is not. You don't own the monopoly on the you people term. I use you people for everything. It has nothing to do with black people at all. You gotta let me use that word. I love the way you look. To emphasize. Anyways, if you have dogs and they have all kinds of things, do you really think that the dog would be like emotionally distraught if you took those things away? Do you think that dogs really go? I honestly think if you have a dog that's so pampered, you pull it away from them, give them 2 days, and they will be back to square one in animal kingdom. And that's my opinion, but I could be wrong. We do have dogs, and they like their food certain ways, and their dog food has to be a certain moisture and all this stuff. But I think if you like threw it all out and let the dog went hungry for a couple days, he'd eat pretty much whatever you set in front of him. Be thankful. But
we tried that. My dog lost weight. I'm so serious.
Yeah.
He bougie. Anyway. Okay, what's our next question?
All right, let's do another one.
Yeah, this one's gonna come from what happened. It was gonna come up. It was. Yeah, he was. There we go.
Oh yeah. So you can change it. You just can't send it. Is that what's happening?
No, I think I can send it, but it's kind of acting like switching between two different keys back in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yep. This one comes from Cameron Smyer. He wants to know your top 3 favorite sitcoms.
Oh yeah, great question. Thank you very much, Cameron. These are the kind of questions that make my day because I get to share with people the most important things in life. Like. No, for real. Like I watch sitcoms every night. I really enjoy them. They are a great outlet for me. Like some people like to read, and my wife likes to go to bed reading and relaxing that way. And I unwind by watching sitcoms. I really enjoy them. The Office is the #1 sitcom of all time. No matter like there's not even a close second. The Office is like way up here, and then we're going to be talking about the other two my top three way down here. I would say, Mazzani, we're going to get you in The Office. I would say, of course, The Office is number one. Number two, I would probably maybe say Parks and Rec, but maybe something like Seinfeld, an older one. Some honorable mentions would be King of Queens. That's a really good show. Everybody Loves Raymond. That's a good show. What was the one that had My Name is Earl? That was a good show.
Sorry.
Man, there were some funny scenes in My Name is Earl. But then I would say, I'm going to throw this one out. You guys have probably never even heard of this one, but if you have, you know it's hilarious. There's a British show from several years back. It's off the air now, called The IT Crowd. If you've seen that on Netflix or whatever, The IT Crowd, it's freaking hilarious. It's not very long. Each season only had like 6 or 8 episodes. I think they had 5 or 6 seasons. It's freaking a hilarious show. It's not as well done. It's not as far as budget-wise as like The Office or one of these other ones, but very funny, well written. The characters are well developed. It's a great TV show. If you haven't seen that one, check it out, The IT Crowd. So top 3 for me would be The Office, followed by Parks and Rec, then IT Crowd. There you go. What do you think, Mazzani?
Mine would be Brooklyn Nine-Nine, number 1. I could binge watch this one. 99 all day.
Right.
The 2 would probably be like, that's hard because I think of sitcoms. Like, what does sitcom mean? Like, in my mind.
Sitcoms, in my mind, are funny 20 and 30 minute.
The Golden Girls, number 2.
Who brought that fly in here?
And number 3, probably like Frasier. I used to watch Frasier low-key.
Frasier was funny,
yeah.
Yeah, that would be an honorable mention for me, Frasier. There's a lot of good old-timey sitcoms.
Sanford and Son.
That was funny.
I didn't think about that. How disrespectful. Yeah, definitely. Those are my top.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Shay, you want to throw something in there? You got any top 3 real quick?
Probably Sister, Good Times, and The Golden Girls.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, our next question. Our next question comes from Kendall Estes. What's your favorite scene from The Office?
Oh my gosh. My goodness. Kendall, this is a great question. Favorite scene's a hard question because many times I'll be watching it and there'll be like a scene that I've seen. I know I've seen it several times. That it just strikes me funny this particular time. It's just I'm belly laughing all by myself late at night on my lazy boy. You know. I'd probably say probably the one that I can think of right now. My favorite scene right now is when Roy comes in the office to attack Jim after he found out that Jim kissed Pam, and Dwight shoots the pepper spray over Pam's shoulder at Roy. Hits him in the face with it. If you've seen that episode, you know what I'm talking about. And then then you can hear Dwight talking. So if you've seen the show The Office, the whole time there's these interviews. They're the whole thing's supposed to be like a documentary, but it's a mockumentary, right? So there's these interviews where they're talking to the camera. So the whole time they're showing like the rerun of Roy getting hit in the face with the pepper spray, and everybody's coughing and all. And Dwight's you can hear his voice, and he's like, for 6 years, I've brought weapons into this office and been mocked and ridiculed for, having, and then like, because also they're going through and they're taking his weapons, like, and Toby's walking around making him give up his different weapons, and he's like, it's showing B-roll, and then all of a sudden you can see Dwight's face, and he's like, and his eyes are blood red, and his nose and his eyes are all running because he's got the pepper spray on his face too, because when you spray it in the air, it gets everywhere. So he's like, but he's smiling. He's like, who's laughing now? He's like literally crying. I'm sorry if that was the first time you've ever heard of that scene, because that was not a good rendition of it. But it's a hilarious show. You've got to watch it if you're not a fan of The Office. So there you go. That's my favorite scene right now. I got many more. We could just change the show to Van Describes The Office, because that's how much I enjoy watching that show. So,
wow. Wow.
Hey, by the way, back to Jennifer. Jennifer Purdue, this White Claw I'm liking it. This actually is the White Claw Hard Seltzer Black Cherry flavor. If you've not had this before, it's a very light, slightly fruity. Doesn't have a lot of the harshness of a seltzer water. It's pretty smooth. I like it. I don't think I'd go bonkers. I wouldn't definitely baptize my child in it, but but it's pretty tasty.
Tasty. Okay. So this is our next question. It comes from Shakia Barnes. She wants to know, how does your childhood affect how you enter a relationship?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
It definitely does. And you know what else does big time, which is part of your childhood, is the way that you're disciplined, when you're growing up. It affects your relationships too, because let me tell you this. Let me tell you something. Like, kids that are disciplined improperly, it totally affects their psyche. And I know that's a common sense thing, but let me just give you an example of how. Have you ever seen like two people? Let me tell you this quick story, true story. It is Mazzani. If I tell you it's a true story, it's not going to be a joke. If I go into a story, it could be whatever. But if I say this is a true story, I'm honestly telling you a true story.
Thanks for the disclaimer.
But yeah, so if have you ever? I know two people that whenever they first got together, husband and wife, whenever they would wrestle around or argue, or not wrestle around like that, like wrestle, like literally wrestling, goofing around, like tickling and all that stuff. If he was too rough and like tickled too hard, or accidentally like hit his elbow against her thigh or whatever and caused her pain, her reaction would be to draw up and to literally get inflamed and angry at him, thinking he hurt her on purpose. Does that make sense? And there's a lot of people like that out there. They'll be in perfectly good moods until they feel pain, and when they feel pain, then they instantly get angry. Right? They just instantly get angry, and a lot of that is psyche from the way that they were disciplined. Because if a parent comes in and disciplines in anger, right? So if a parent comes in and is like all mad and like, okay, I'm fed up, I'm sick and tired of this, I'm bop 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 bop, and starts spanking or swatting or punching or however parents discipline their kids. If they do it in anger, it's gonna instill this response in that child to pain. So pain equals somebody's angry at me, right? So if that's over and over and over, all the parents are doing are training their children. So if that's how you train them that pain equals anger, right? Then that's how they're going to respond the rest of their life. And so that was the situation with this couple. Whenever she would get hurt, pain equaled anger, and she thought that he was angry at her, although it was an accident. But what?
Man, I don't care if we wrestle around. You know better. You're a man. You're not supposed to be tough, roughhousing me. I'm gonna get mad too. Incredible Hulk all day.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, an accident's an accident. So like, if you're just like wrestling around, tickling, and
I'm gonna accidentally hit you back in your head.
But Mazzani, do you think that if like you're wrestling around with your guy and he accidentally, like he's trying to get behind you to tickle you, but when he does, his body weight shifts too fast and his elbow hits your shoulder or something and it causes pain in your shoulder, do you think he's doing that to be angry at you, to hurt you?
No, but it's only going to be reasonable if I elbow him back.
Oh yeah, that's playing. I'm not saying you're not going to play with him. Is it
because I'm going to like draw blood?
But if you get angry at him, then because he hurt you, then we're talking about what we're talking about. You see what I mean? Like,
this is deep.
It is deep. It's very deep. And so a lot of people don't associate why they get angry so fast at these things. And if you think back to when you were a child, the way that you were disciplined, a lot of that discipline was out of anger. Like a lot of parents discipline their children when they get angry instead of disciplining their children when they need to be taught. So a child, when they do something wrong, needs to be taught and trained immediately. If they do something rebellious, they need to be spanked. Right? So you don't need to spank your child every time they do something wrong to teach them. That's ridiculous. Children are going to mess up all the time. But if your child gets rebellious, then you have to remind them why you're the one in charge, And that's where you come in and you do spankings. And matter of fact, I'll tell you how to spank properly while we're on the topic, since maybe some of you people watching this are new parents. Mazzani You people being the people watching the show, no matter what color they are, you don't own a monopoly on that term, Mazzani. Anyways, if you're watching the show and you'd like to continue hearing how to properly spank, the reason I know this is because we have raised 5 children, spanking them all throughout the whole process, every day, whether they need it or not. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, really, for real though. Here's a psychological way you can spank your child and train them and do welfare, good welfare for your child. What?
Let me set this up for you. So, Mazzani Speaks wants to know, how do you properly spank your child for future reference?
Are you prepping like a clip for YouTube?
Yeah, I think this is going to be good stuff.
Cool. Okay, so, all right, so here's the thing. Once your kid's been rebellious and it's time to spank them, not because you're angry because they keep doing something that annoys you, but when it's time for them to be taught that you're in charge, you bring them to you and you stand them and you're calm. You're controlled because you're training your child. You're not attacking your child out of anger. Does that make sense? So you bring your child and you're calm and you're like, little Johnny, let me explain something to you. What you did was wrong. And because I love you, I can't let you continue through life doing things wrong with no repercussions. Because when you get older, you're going to have some real problems. Because the people that discipline you then are not going to love you like I love you. See what I mean? So you take little Johnny and say, now here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give you a spanking. And I literally talk like this to my children. You can go back and ask all of them. This is how I explain to them before I spank them. I say, because I love you, I'm going to give you a spanking. I'm going to teach you, you can't do this. This is wrong. And then I bend them all over my knee. I take the paddle, pop, pop, 2 pops, not light, hard enough for them to feel pain. And then they cry, and then I stand them up. And sometimes they get angry, and they're like, get away from me. And I'm like, and I don't get angry, and I say, nope, come back over here. And they'll begrudgingly walk back over. And I'll take them, and I'll put my arms softly, not jerking them. You know, I rest my arms on their shoulders, and I say, now, do you understand that I love you? I'm not angry at you. And I look them in the eyes, and I say, I am not angry at you. I'm training you. And I love you. And I take them, and I say, now, come here. And I hold them, and I say, I'm so sorry that you had to learn this way, but it's very important you learn. You see what I mean? And so then when I release them and I let them go from that scene of being spanked, they know I'm not angry at them. They know it's not an emotional discipline. You see what I'm saying? They leave from there and they've learned their lesson and their parents are not mad at them. Does that make sense? And so that's it takes a lot of discipline as a parent to control your emotions. But the thing is, what I'm trying to teach you is do that before you lose your cool, right? Here's the way, if you're parenting, especially young toddlers, you know, because this all should take place in toddlerhood. Once they get 6, 7, 8 years old, you should have already done this to teach them. If they're 10 years old and they're rebellious, you've got to really pray about how to discipline them at that age, you know. And I got some pointers on that as well, you know. So reach out to me and I'll be able to be glad to help you. But toddlers, you should. I know this question's gone a little bit longer than normal, but if you have toddlers or kids that are between 2 years old and say 6, you should definitely reach out to them before, you know. Let me say it like this. You tell them one time, and then you as the parent discipline yourself to get up and be planning that they're not going to obey you. As soon as you tell them, hey, go put that back on the table, in your mind you should be saying, now I am going to get up and go over and discipline them because they're not going to obey me. Now, if you start to get up and they already start heading over to the table, then you know, oh, wow, they're going to listen. But where parents mess up when it comes to disciplining their kids is they say, hey, go put that on the table. And then the kid doesn't move. And they're like, I said go put it on the table. And then they don't move. Go over there and put that on the table. And the parent just keeps getting angrier and angrier. And all it is laziness. It's lazy parenting. Because you don't want to get off the couch and go over and discipline the kid. So you're just going to keep yelling and getting louder and louder. And eventually, after 5 or 6 times, you explode with anger. I said go. And you charge over there and you bop, 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 bop. And you beat the crap out of the kid. Right? And all of that could have been alleviated by being a more disciplined parent and saying, Johnny, go put that on the table, and then you get up, walk over there, and calmly grab Johnny's arm and walk him over to the table and say, now put that on the table like I said. And you're training your child. Does that make sense? So I hope this was helpful. Sorry we went a little bit deep with that, Mazzani.
Hold up.
Okay, you got a question?
No, I want to say something. Mom, if you're watching this, I know it's a little too late for me and my middle brother, but that little one, you could still do this with him, okay? You don't have to do us like that no more, okay? I know what I did wrong. I'm telling you, my mom was one of those parents. She didn't do what you said. It took one time for her. You didn't do right. She's getting up, and it would be like, I told you, don't you listen. I'm like, God, my leg toe up, my head toe up.
Yeah, but you learn. But I mean, I'm not justifying like over spanking, but you know, I think one time parents need to get in the one time club. That is, I tell you one time, and then I'm disciplining you. You know?
One. She just
How many parents do this? I said go. Now go. All right, 5, 4, 3, and you know, it's like you just keep giving them more opportunities to disobey you. You know, just jump on in there and do your thing. You know. But spank them in love. Don't spank them in anger. That's definitely my number one advice because what that does, it affects the psychology of your child, and they grow up, and everybody they address the rest of their lives, going into adulthood, to answer the original question, is completely affected by the way that a parent disciplines their child. In a whole array of things, not just in anger, like the way the child looks at themselves, the way the child addresses relationships with people, friends and spouses, you know. Everything in their life is outlooked by the way that they were handled when they did things wrong or right when they were a kid. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it was deep.
Sorry for going so deep on y'all there.
Yeah. I know we don't overrun this question, but I just got to say, I'm sorry. I just got to say, when you said that, you know, I just recollected when you were like, you know, you did come back here and give me a hug after you done whooped me, and you want me to come hug you, and you want to tell me you love. My mama used to be like, he hurts me more than it hurts you. I'm pretty sure that I'm the one hurting.
I don't know. It depends. Sometimes parents really don't want to have to discipline their kid, but they have to. Because they know if they don't, then the kid's going to go off to prison, you know, so...
We did go to the next question. Okay.
Yeah, all right. Thanks. Let us know what you think in the comments about that. If you agree or disagree, or how you discipline your children, whatever. So let us know. We really appreciate it. Oh, and share the show. If you're watching this right now, share the show. If you're listening to the podcast, if you will, share it. Put it out there on social media so other people in the world can enjoy it. So, all right, what we got here?
This one comes from Letitia Speak. She wants to know, do men do couponing? If not, why?
No, men do not do couponing. It doesn't happen. There are some human beings that have penises that do couponing, but I wouldn't call them men. I'm kidding. If you're a dude, I'm joking. It's a joke.
It wasn't that. I can't believe. Wow.
What?
You said
penis? Penis is not a bad word.
Please stop.
It's not a bad word. It's not a slang. It's not a disrespectful word. It's a descriptive part of the male anatomy.
I want to forget that you ever said it.
Okay. I'm sorry if everybody's offended by me saying couponing was not for guys. But I don't do couponing, but my wife does. And maybe guys that don't have wives do couponing. It would probably make sense. So there's that. So I apologize if I upset you about that. I really was not trying to be offensive. I was trying to be funny. Hopefully you laughed and didn't get mad.
This question comes from Zachary Roberts. He wants to know, what's the most supernatural thing you've ever witnessed with your eyes?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. Most supernatural thing with my eyes. Zachary, that's a good question. Thank you for asking that. Because I've seen some pretty crazy stuff, you know? Pretty supernatural things. Like some miracles.
Do tell.
It's hard to remember all of them. So he asked, what's the most? I can't remember all of them, but I will tell you a cool story, a couple cool stories maybe. One time when I was on a construction crew, this guy, this is a true story, this guy working for me named Lee, he went to plug in the air compressor, the hose to the air compressor, and when he put it on the nozzle, he didn't get it clamped, he didn't get it clipped, and the air compressor had 120 pounds PSI, pounds per square inch, and the hose blew out, and the nozzle turned like this, and it hit him right on the shin bone. The muscle right beside the shin bone, and hit that, and almost instantly it started swelling, and within 30 seconds, it was like the size of a golf ball and was starting to become discolored, and I guess he busted a blood vessel or something right there because it started bubbling under the skin. And I mean, right almost immediately after that, he put his hand on it and he said, "No." He was like firm, like he had faith or something. He was like, "No, nope, no. Go down now in the name of Jesus." And did like that and pulled his hand off and it was like brand new. I was like, what?
This
true
is
story.
true.
True story. If I tell you it's a true story, it's a true story. So I saw that with my own eyes and I was very impressed by that. It was very cool.
In the name of Jesus.
It was.
What?
Mazzani, did you put your hand on your belly and say,
I want to be fat no more.
Mazzani,
In the name of Jesus.
this ain't.
What?
Mazzani, you can't put your hand on your fat, man.
What?
You're ridiculous. That's silly.
You gave me faith.
Oh my gosh. That's how it works.
I'm going to keep trying.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Let me know what happens with that.
If it works.
But yeah, that's what happened. True story. I saw it with my own eyes. I was very impressed. I thought that was amazing.
That is a pretty cool story.
Yep. Very cool.
Wow. All right, our next question comes from Leah Noble. She wants to know if Christians are called to be stewards of the earth that God has given us, and we are supposedly those most identified as Trump's base of support, then why are plastic straws a thing? I don't get it.
What?
That's a lot going on.
All right, let's break this question down. If Christians are called to be stewards of the earth that God has given us, and we are supposedly those most identified as Trump's base of support, then why are plastic straws a thing? So either this is a joke question, like she's trying to be sarcastic, or she's really asking if the plastic straws thing, like she's jumping on board with California's whole anti-plastic straw movement.
I agree with it.
With the anti-plastic straw movement?
Yeah, you should. I mean, everybody should have those sterile stainless steel straws. It's not a hard thing. It would really help alleviate a lot of that issue, and it's just a start. Then we can progress into how we shrink wrap things when we send them off to like Walmart and stuff. It's a big thing right now.
The
It's
plastic
important.
straw movement?
Yeah, it's going to be a snowball effect. Once that starts taking place, we're going to start making changes in other places.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a big solution. Getting rid of plastic straws. Could be a thing.
I think it's a good start.
I mean, obviously, anything that we do as a human race to try to alleviate some of the pressure we're putting on the earth with all of this, plastic and trash debris and all that stuff is a good move. Anything we're doing collectively like that. I don't know how plastic straws. What about the plastic cups the straws are in? There's a lot more energy that could be put forth towards something other than plastic straws, in my opinion.
I have to disagree because it's a good start,
Yeah.
Yeah. Get you a stainless steel cup, take it with you, get them to fill it up, and we should get discounts for that. That's my thought.
There you go. Government mandated discounts for reusable cups and stuff. That's cool.
Did you agree with me?
I do about that.
Wow. Okay, next question. Sorry. This one comes from Joshua DeLauder. As soon as I get it up. Come on now. Okay, help me. Okay. Help me again. Are you helping me? Help me.
You just clicking like crazy over there.
I know it's those. You keep putting up the same thing.
You keep putting it.
Okay, here. Help me now. I promise it's not me. Hold on. Okay, now do it.
You know what's happening, Shay? She's probably clicking stuff that's putting it onto those other screens that we talked about.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there we
Woo-woo.
go.
Okay, this one
Good,
comes
she
from.
fixed it.
Okay, hold on. Before we do this, go ahead and take a moment and share with our page here so that we can pick out your questions specifically, and also just so we can promote the show. Come on, guys.
Yeah, that's a good point, because if you share it, then we will see that you're a sharer and we'll move your questions to the top. Mazzani, make sure you're checking the Facebook page to see who's sharing. That way we can get it moved
Yeah, that's
up.
why I said
Okay,
that,
cool.
'cause it's just
All right,
us.
so, cool.
Yeah. Okay, so
Well, you said that last week, but as soon as we went off, I looked and there was like 9 or 10 people had shared.
maybe I need to refresh.
Yeah, you need to figure out.
I'll freshen it up
Yeah.
with this
All right,
last
cool.
haul. Okay, so Joshua DeLauder wants to know, can you recommend a binge-worthy TV show, drama or comedy, except The Office? You cannot say The Office, okay?
All right, then go to. I mentioned it earlier. Go watch the IT Crowd. That's one. Or Parks and Rec. You want a new one?
Yeah, one that you haven't said.
Okay. All right, I'll do drama first. Downton Abbey. If you've not watched Downton Abbey, you got to go watch Downton Abbey. It's a binge-worthy drama series. Fantastic. Probably the best drama of all time, in my opinion. Yeah, it's that good. Binge-worthy TV sitcom. But I can't list any of those I already listed. Cheers. It's pretty good. You can binge that. Have you ever watched Cheers?
Of course. Comes on late at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you won't let me list any of the good ones, how can I tell people to go watch crappy sitcoms?
You've already listed them. Like, they know now that they're recommended. I'm just saying, like, what else you got?
Okay. I don't have any other ones.
Downton
Off the top
Abbey
of my
was a
head.
good one. It really was.
It's really good. And The
I do like
Office.
it.
If I'm going to tell you binge-worthy shows, maybe they didn't see it before. Maybe this is a clip we put on YouTube. Go watch Office and Downton Abbey. Back and forth for the rest of your life. And you'll never go sad.
I want to give two.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to say The Handmaid's Tale on Hulu. It will blow your mind. And my second one is a sitcom. I probably would say King of the Hill.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
King of the Hill's a good one. Yeah. All right.
Sure. What are we looking like on time for the show, Shay?
6 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay, so Mazzani, scroll through real quick and make sure that we're see who, the shares and all that stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you, Amy, for sharing multiple times but not posting any questions.
Thank you, Amy.
Yeah, we really
Hey,
do
you don't have
appreciate
to post questions. We appreciate the
it.
share.
Yeah, we do.
Thank you.
But
Hey, Mazzani, go to the pre-show questions. There was a couple there that I was wanting to get to, but we're kind of running out of time for this. Although we did start a little bit late.
yeah, we did. But let's see here.
Give me some ballparks of what they're about, and I'll tell you if I want.
So we got the taboo young and married. We got the childhood effect on relationships, which we just did.
Oh yeah, we did that one.
Yeah, we got the go away to grandma's for a week, and that's the one I was going to do next, honestly. The evolution, and
Oh yeah, let's do the evolution one.
Okay,
I saw that one come in.
let's do it. This one's from Joshua DeLauder.
We'll do that one quick, and then we'll do the taboo thing quick.
Okay.
We'll do these two quick, and then we'll do the other one.
What are your thoughts on evolution?
Let's start that one over for the clip. Start over.
This comes from Joshua DeLauder. He wants to know what are your thoughts on evolution.
Okay, good question, Josh. Thanks for being an asker, a question poster on the show, whatever the term is. Yeah, that's a good question. My thoughts on evolution, I think, is nonsense. I think it's one of the worst theories of all time, especially that they've taken it and posted it as fact in our school books for all of our kids. I'll give you one thing to think about with that when it comes to evolution. Recently, they found a cave with the oldest, listen to this, Mazzani, the oldest human scribblings on the walls. I don't remember what the term is. You know what I'm talking about? Where the
Hieroglyphics?
Yeah, they find the shapes and the people. You know, it's where a human being scratched on the wall,
Cave
right?
markings.
Yeah, cave markings and stuff. They found the oldest known documented ones. You know how old they were? According to these scientists, they were 20,000 years old. Long time. But here's the thing. You look up how old human beings, the same scientists say that human beings have been on this planet, and it's millions of years. Humans have been here, some form or fashion, for millions of years. Mm-hmm. Right? Okay, we've been here for millions of years. Let's talk about the eyebrows, right? Do you know what an eyebrow is? It's it's a rain gutter for sweat, you know? Sweat runs down your eyebrow.
Have one.
Yeah, whatever. Sweat runs down, hits your eyebrow, and funnels it to the outside. How long did the human body take to develop the eyebrow? How long did it say, hey, we need something to stop all this moisture from running into our eyes, so we need to develop an eyebrow and so to channel that? How long do you think it would take for a human body? Over how many millions of years would it take to develop eyebrows to solve that problem? Do you see what I'm saying? And in all that time, with all those millions of years of human beings in some form or fashion, with eyebrows, without eyebrows, in all that time, none of them scratched on the wall. You're telling me that no human beings could formulate a circle and a square on top of it? Nobody could draw a stick man for millions of years until just 20,000 years ago we decided to start scratching on walls. Is that computing? Does it make any sense to you that we would be here for millions of years and not have the functional ability to scratch on a wall until just 20,000 years ago?
I think that those are just the ones that made it.
You literally think that 2 million years ago people were here and they were...
We were probably smarter then. That's why nobody knows that we were here 2 million years ago.
If we were smarter, there would be more drawings. There would be more...
I wouldn't leave no trace that I was here.
Oh my gosh.
I'm contradicted all the way.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I really don't. It
doesn't make any sense. Where are the people at? If you back up, I don't know what that was. If you take humankind, we just passed 8 billion, Like 10 years ago we passed 7 billion. And when the turn of the century, like 2004 or something like that, we passed 6 billion. You understand? We're hitting critical mass, and it's like if we've been producing and repopulating for millions of years, there'd be more people here than blades of grass. It's just there's no math to support the theory of evolution. It's all conjecture. It's all theory, and it just takes faith to believe it, and because there's no substance for it. So, anyways. That's what I think about evolution, Josh. Thanks for the question. Appreciate the question, though, for sure. I hope I didn't upset you there. All right, Mazzani, let's do the real quick, the one about the millennials having babies.
Okay. Okay. This one comes from Kendall S. She wants to know, why is it taboo to ask a young married couple when they are having kids?
So this is a thing now, evidently, that young married couples are like... It's now politically incorrect to ask it, hey, so when you guys going to have kids? Have you seen this?
I don't understand why it wouldn't be. If you were married, I'm making babies instantly.
Well, some people aren't, and some people want to go for a while, and it's a big deal. I saw this article, this woman, she's like, no, you cannot ask me that, and was all fired up, and this whole movement is happening. What, you got something to say about that?
No. Oh. Would you be offended if
Shay, when you gonna have some kids?
When I get married.
There you go. That's a good answer.
I don't understand why anybody would get offended. Just say, I'd rather not respond if it bothers you that bad.
Yeah. They get fired up about it, though. All right, let's go Shay, we're going to run over just a little bit. But let's go to that last question. What was it about?
The grandma kids.
Huh?
Jennifer Purdue and the grandma kids.
The grandma kids.
Yeah. She wants to know... This is from Jennifer Purdum. And when your kids go away to your grandma's for a week, is it wrong to think you're going to enjoy the time apart? Is it wrong to want to send your spouse with them? But after they leave, you have no clue what to do with yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get a lot more personal time than my wife does. Let's pull this down. Because my wife's with the kids a lot and she's with them all the time, and so she talks a lot about that, she just wants a break, get away from the kids and get away from me sometimes. She just wants to get, peace and quiet, and so I don't think that is wrong at all. I think as human beings, we have to get that, we have to have that solitude sometimes, just a peace and quiet, get back, get alone, get alone with the Lord, and just be like, hey, I'm just recharge your emotional batteries, because it's a constant drain. Every single person takes a little bit from you. Every person, your job, everything takes from you all day long. Some of your emotion. It's a little bit or a lot, but it's something. And we definitely have to get back and get quiet. So I would say that's not wrong, Jennifer. You're all right. Kick them all out and enjoy the peace and quiet.
Somebody please next week post a question about soul ties, because you just touched on that, and I'd really like to hear more of your more of what you think about soul ties.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Definitely is. All right, cool. Listen, everybody. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. Actually, stay on too for a second. Thanks for watching the show and sharing it. Thank you so much for being a part of the show, asking questions. We think the world of you, and we do see your questions. Even if we can't get to them, we go back afterwards, we look at them, we try to comment about them. We're so thankful for them. And a lot of times, if we don't get to them this week, we'll roll them over to next week. So be sure to tune in next week and see if we address your question next week. If you're one of my kids or one of my grandchildren or generations after me, because we never know when you're going to be watching this show, it could be in 40 years from now. I just want to say I love you. I really hope that you will give your life to the Lord, talking about Jesus, because he loves you too. And I really want you to know that without him, you wouldn't even be here. So thanks everybody else for watching the show. If you're not one of my kids or grandkids or generations after me, I love you too. And I appreciate you being a part of the Ask Big Van show. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time, this show. And it's a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Thanks for sharing it. God bless you. We'll see you next time on the Ask Big Van show.